Today I'm going to show you an online planning tool that not only will help you design your building, but create a bill of materials and give you a price. So stay tuned. Hi, this is Paul from CountryCraziness.com. If you're interested in tractors, post-frame construction, and homesteading, well, you've come to a good place. Why not subscribe, tap the bell, and join in on the conversation? Last week we talked about how you could use a planning tool in order to be able to figure out the floor plan for your barn and how big your barn was going to need to be and where you could use the doors. This week we're going to take that to the next step and put it all together and design the barn that we actually want to have. And I'm going to show you that tool now, and at the end of the video I'm going to show you how you can access this information for yourself absolutely free. Okay, so here we are, we're looking at the planner. What I did was I kind of filled this thing out ahead of time and put in the rough dimensions of my particular barn, just to show you a little bit about what we have here. What you're going to find when you work with this planner is that there's several different tabs that you're going to go through. You're going to start out with building info, and then you're just going to click through these tabs until you get all the way through. That's field number one. The second field is all the information about the design and what you named it and things of that nature. And you always have the ability to look at your building both in 3D and just at the informational view. And the information view is where you're going to want to spend most of your time. And as you go through different steps, you're going to want to scroll up and down through this particular box because it does not show all the information that you may want. And the last video I did on floor plans, I had to work with this thing for a while before I found this little click here button that was hidden. And that's how you get to that floor plan area that I showed in last week's video. So if you want to redo your floor plan, you can go in here. The best I can tell though is if you take them, come up with dimensions on a floor plan, they don't automatically import to this program. You have to put that information in yourself. Now let's talk about some of the cool stuff about when you put this thing together. When you go into an area like width, and I put in 40 feet here, you will get the look on this middle screen showing width. When you go to truss spacing, it'll give you a picture showing you what the trusses are and how you want to space those out. And it also gives you the information in terms of what might be the best and most economical settings. But again, you scroll down through here, it'll give you all kinds of information to help you select what just the proper thing is for your particular barn. Once you get in the truss spacing, you're going to select your height of your building. Again, that's pretty self-explanatory in terms of what they're talking about. We're talking about wall height. And once you do that, you're going to be able to put in that information, and you're going to get down to floor type, the floor thickness, the sidewall. And as you go through all of these different things, it's going to show you the pictures here of what they're talking about. So even if you're not an expert and you haven't done this kind of thing before, this is going to guide you through very easily. So if you get the grade board and you want to know what a grade board is, or if you want to know what a girt is, it'll show you which piece of item they're talking to you about. So it's pretty self-explanatory as you go through the thing. Down at the bottom then, you have the availability for plans. And the plans, you can get a hard copy or you can get an email only. And that's explained in some detail at the bottom. When you get that done, you want to go to the accessories tab, and that's where you start putting the thing up a little bit with some other options. And you can see one of the things is what kind of wall you're going to put in here, and you can select what you want for that. In this particular case, we don't want to add an open wall. The next thing is wainscot, and it shows you what a wainscot is. You can put it on all the walls or just some of them. And then you can go through and you can select the kind of insulation you want. If you want an interior liner, how to select out the color for that. It's a real easy tool to go through and pick out all the different things. And it's kind of hard to go wrong as you go through this thing because it's going to explain to you every step along the way exactly what they're talking about. And finally, when you go to the next page, you're going to get to the page that shows what the openings are that you're going to put on the outside of the building. So getting back to that first video, at this point now, maybe you decided you wanted overhead doors or a sliding door where you might want them. You can use this tool to not only put in the size door that you want, but you can position it back and forth and get it spaced exactly where you want it. So it gives you a lot of room to play around. You can also take these things and you can copy them. So it speeds up the process. You can go in, and if you didn't want a 12 by 12 door, you can just go in and resize it to whatever size door that you do want. And anytime you make a change, if you ask it to update the price, it's going to go ahead and it's going to generate an updated price for you. Once you get through all those sections and you've done all your service doors and overhead doors, if you want to add a porch or a lean-to, all that stuff is done, then you can go to the summary page. And what they're going to do is ask you to verify the picture. So this is looking down from the top of it, and what you would have, it identifies the end walls and the windows and all that kind of stuff. And once you've done that, you're good to go. It's going to take you to the summary page, and this is where the magic happens, because you're going to get a complete summary of what you've got. Here's a view, here's all the window openings, here's the spacing, everything that you asked for. Here's the building information over on this side, and it shows all the accessory information that you had asked for in your thing. It's really cool. I mean, it gives you just about every piece of information you could possibly want. When you're done, you can print a design packet, you can email it, you can look at the floor plan, you can look at it in 3D, you can move this thing around, look at it from any angle that you want. It's really a cool tool, and it's got a couple of things that I don't like about it. One thing is I couldn't make it so that it would put a porch on the end of my building. I don't know why that is, but they've certainly, once you get to a certain point, you can fine-tune it with one of their customer service representatives. The other thing I couldn't do is I couldn't get it to locate the windows at the height I wanted them, because I like my windows up tall on my barn. So it wouldn't do those couple of things, but boy, it sure gets you pretty well along the way. Midwest Building Systems is a part of Menards, and if you're not familiar with Menards, they're a company that's based in the middle of the United States that is much like a Home Depot or a Lowe's that might be available in your area. You can go onto the Menards site and look down below, and you'll see where you can create these types of designs. And I'll put a link down below so that you can access that. Here's a tip for you. When you do that, you're going to want to log in and create a password for yourself, because when you get into the Midwest Design Studio, if you don't have a login, you're not going to be able to save your work and come back to it. If you do have a login, you can not only create a plan to work on continuously, but you can design multiple plans at the same time, and they'll be available to you, I believe, for up to 6 months. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments, likes, and forward it to anybody you think might be interested. And if you'd like to learn more about post frame construction, then check out this playlist up above.